Hi Flosstube, I'm Lori and welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. I just want to share with you that this is the 5th time I'm starting this video. I've had a few issues this morning, but the last one was the funniest because here I am going on, talking and talking. I guess I must have been into like minute 10 or something. And something ran across my computer that said battery low, and I'm thinking like, how can that be? It's plugged in. But then I realized it's plugged into an outlet that's attached to the light, and I had the light off because I was getting a better, I thought, better lighting without the light overhead. But then it just died, shut itself off, and I'm like, what? But anyway, welcome to my channel. Anyone new, please, I'm so happy you're here. I hope you enjoy what you see and you subscribe and visit with me every time I put up a video. Welcome back to all my regular people that come and visit with me. I'm so happy that you do. Somebody asked me about my rotation. I guess they might have been newer than other ones where I've mentioned it before, but my rotation is basically a 2-day stitch. I stitch on something for 2 days and then I move on to my next whip or new start. I do have, in my last video I showed us like a spreadsheet that I actually wrote out, and I kind of choose the ones I want to work on that month. And then on another piece of paper I'll write down, I'll actually try and I'll write all the dates, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's say 1, 2, I'll stitch something, and then 3, 4, I'll write something else. And what I look at is what days of the week they are. Like if I get a Saturday and Sunday together, I might want to work on a project that I want to get a lot done, because a lot of times I can stitch during the day and at night, so I get more done. Or Sunday, Monday, Monday night, I can also stay up late. Tuesday, I don't stay up. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I don't usually stay up too late because I have Caleb the next day and I have to get up at 5:30 in the morning. So going to bed after midnight and then getting up at 5:30 and then being on the go after that is a bit much at my age. So, but basically I work on something for 2 days, and then Thursdays we have a Zoom meeting with my stitching friends, so I want to be able to work on something not too complicated, that I can talk and stitch, or listen and stitch, rather than having to count and change threads every 2 or 3 stitches. So that's what my rotation involves. Thank you for the comments on my little craft room here. Someone made me laugh when I showed the stack of patterns that I had on the shelf, and she says, "Is that all you have?" I said, "That plus whatever's in the project bag." Yep. I basically, like I just started stitching. I guess I retired in 2017, so since after that is when I found Flosstube accidentally, and then got back into cross stitching. So I started getting patterns at that time, and so slowly I'm building up a little bit of a stash, but I want to be able to say that I'm going to stitch them as well, not just collect them. So what have I been up to? Since my last video I had said that we were going to the farm to take Caleb, so we did do that. We were a little disappointed with the amount of people that were there, and they made them wear their masks to check in, because the guy was there and saying, wear your masks, when you go up to the window online. Then once they got out, a lot of people were taking them off, so we did not stay too long. We had Caleb watch the little pig races, and then we went to the farm to see all the animals there, and then we went to the pumpkin patch, and we went on a tractor ride down to the pumpkin patch. And he was so excited, but more like in awe of the tractor wheels for how big they were, because the tractor was pulling down the huge back part of where we sit, and even there they only put so many families and apart from each other and wearing masks. So we did that, and I did buy a cheese pumpkin, I was told that it's called. And basically, as I was talking about this before, I realized that this is what a cheese pumpkin looks like. I bought this pumpkin. James and Amy, they have a pumpkin palooza every year at their apartment, and they bake cookies, they bake pumpkin bread, they bake chili, they bake, what else do they make? Oh, pumpkin lasagna they made. Okay, come on. I wanted to show some video, but not video, pictures, but I can't get, it's not responding. So maybe it just needs a minute. But anyway, so we did that at the farm, and I did cook up this pumpkin, and what I did was I cut it this way and roasted it. I know most people think they cut it this way and then put it down and roast it. Well, I cut it the other way, and this is what this froze on this picture. And this is after it came out of the oven. And then I measured it out into different amounts, and I used some of it for pumpkin chili. Ah, it responded. Okay, here's the pumpkin that we purchased. I'm sorry. Anyway, I made pumpkin chili, and it turned out really well. And then I have some measured out for some pumpkin cookies that I'm going to try. Somebody told me about this recipe where you get spice cake mix and 15 ounces of pumpkin, and not the filling that has the sugar and everything, but just plain pumpkin. And then you just mix those two together. And then you put some chocolate chips in there, and then you scoop them out and make cookies. It's a softer, I guess, cakey cookie more than a crisp cookie. So I'm going to try that. I think I'll try that after while this video is uploading. Okay, what else? I went to what we call a tricky tray. Basically, it's a fundraiser for the school where Rebecca works, and basically you have tickets and you put into the prizes that you want to win or try to win. But this year, because of COVID, they did it outdoors. It was this past Saturday, and luckily there was no rain. It was overcast, so it wasn't too hot in the parking lot. And they put everybody's tickets in one big barrel, and then once they pick your ticket, they put it back in so that you can be in for all the prizes, because they didn't really know who wanted what. And a lot of prizes, I'm saying, I don't need that. I hope they don't call me. And they didn't. But I would have given it to somebody who would have liked it. But Rebecca won some cute toys for Caleb. One was a basketball hoop, Fisher Price, I guess it was about this high, and some other toys that was wrapped in it, so that was great. Some of her friends that were there, they won a few things. I won 2 gift cards to 2 different restaurants, so that was nice. And that's about it as far as any update. In my last video, I forgot to mention some Flosstubers that I've watched that I thought you might enjoy as well, if you don't already. They're fairly new, but they have a wide audience of viewers already. So the first one is Stitching in the Valley, and that's Deb and Lori. And I enjoyed watching them because they stitch a lot of the things that I'm stitching on, or that I have stitched, or they are stitching what I want to stitch on eventually. So it was nice to see that we had something in common. I watched MammalovesyouGB. Her name is Michelle, and she comes from Wales. And she showed in the last, her September videos, samplers that she's stitched and samplers that she's stitching on. And what was nice is they were a lot of different ones. I guess she purchased them in England and Wales, where maybe they have different designers than we have here in the States. So that was nice to see. And then the last one is Elizabethcanstitch. She's made a number of videos already. One of the videos that I caught, she showed how to do a finish. She sped up the video so that it wasn't in real time, so you can actually see from start to finish in her video how she did it. So that was nice. And then she did a quilt parade of lovely, lovely quilts that she put together, and I love her the backs of the quilts because they're different. And the last thing that I forgot to talk about in my last video was my haul, and so I'll share that with you at the end in case people don't want to see it and they want to move on. But what I'm going to show is a FFO that I think I showed in my last video. Oh, that reminds me. I think I have something hanging in the closet I need to get. I FFO'd Jenny Bean and Friends from Shakespeare's Peddler. And I'm trying to think. I think I got this frame at, I had a picture in it from years and years ago that I hadn't hung on the wall, and this was the perfect frame for it. I had my husband, it was brown, but I had him spray paint it black, and so that's the finish. Okay, so I'm going to get into my whips because I had a few finishes with my whips, and I'll get that one when I get to that whip that I'm going to show you. The first one is Lila's Studio Halloween Quaker. And this is done on a 28 count quanted that needleworkers dyed for me, and I worked on the witch. This time I have a board ready. Basically I did this motif, the bats, and I came down on the witch, and I didn't make it to the end. So I have the bottom of her skirt, her shoes, and the moon to finish that motif and move on. Yeah, I don't even know if this will get done for next Halloween, but it's a process. It's not a race. And the fact that I do my 2 days and move on is I make progress, but I'm not going to finish. Okay, let's see. Let me put this here. Okay, that was stitched on the last 2 days of September. Then I had said October, I had a new start that I couldn't talk about at the time. And one of my friends, Helen, in my stitching group, gifted us all this pattern. It's called Once in a Blue Moon by Calico Confectionery. And October 1st was a full moon. And I believe that was a Saturday. Or was it a Thursday? Thursday. And then there's going to be a moon on October 31st that's called the blue moon. So she found this pattern and she gifted it to us, and we had to put in the first stitch on October 1st, but we had options. We could finish it by the end of the month, or we had, was it 20 years to complete when the next blue moon? No, not 20. And August 1st, 2023 will be the next blue moon. So we could finish it by then, but the ultimate, that's what it was, the ultimate end date was October 31st, 2039. So I have time. But I did put my 2-day rotation in it. I started it, and this is how far I've gotten on it. And I will put it in my rotation, and when I get it done, I get it done. And I got in the words once, and I started the blue, and I guess the harvest moon, the yellow section of the moon. When I changed the leaves in this picture were like that bright orange of the pumpkin, but I made it more of a rust, of a brown leaf. So That was my new start, October 1st. Okay, this one I have to get the piece hanging in the closet. Excuse me. I have it hanging so that it doesn't get wrinkled because it's a finish. I'm so excited. This is Stacy Nash, Christmas at Hollyberry Farm. And here is my finish. Let's see if I put this behind it. It's not big enough to cover the whole thing, but I don't use it at all. There you go. That's my finish. And I'm so thrilled with it. Now I have to find a frame. I started looking at Hobby Lobby, but I think I want to go there with the piece before I purchase the frame, in case I have to bring it back. Okay, the next one I worked on was Prairie Schooler. Let's see. There you go, Red Riding Hood. Another finish. And an FFO. That's my Red Riding Hood. So I have 2 of these done. I have the 3 Pigs and Red Riding Hood. So I'm really happy this way with that. So now I have extra bags that I can put things up for the new start year. Then I have Halloween Cat by Satsuma Street. It's a finish! I tried putting, like I placed orange rickrack here, but I felt that it was too blaring. So I have a purple, I don't know if you can see, it's a light purple with polka dots on it. And I do have to eventually mount this on something, so I have to go to Michael's, or I don't know if anything's left for Halloween, but I want to get something that, and then maybe a bow or something at the top. But I guess it's okay like this to display for now. It's just a backlight covered with fabric right now. This is glued on to the background. Okay. So moving along, so I was looking for a list. I had a list that I had made a couple of months ago, and I couldn't find it. And then I finally found it. Was it yesterday or the day before? And it was a list of the projects that I would like to get done before the end of the year. And with this next one, I accomplished them. So I was very happy that I got the ones I wanted accomplished done, because I know the other ones, there's too much on them. This next one is Abbey Rose Sweet Summer. And I decided not to do the outside border, but I did the rest of it. And it is completed. I don't know if I'm going to frame it or pillow. So from the last time that I had to work on this, I had the grass to complete, these flowers, and a little squirrel there. And that's my Sweet Summer. I don't know if I mentioned it in my last time trying to video or not, but I did speak about wanting to start new things in the new year. And I'm going to do a video in November of all the things that I have kitted up that I want to start I wanted to start in January, but I don't know if I should start in December, because I was thinking of starting maybe 2 things every month to get going. So I'm thinking of starting in December and then doing it through the following December. So 2 a month for 13 months is 26 new starts in total. But if I want to start anything after that, in that year, I will. But then I'm thinking that in 2022, I won't start anything until I finish one of these that I'm started, anything that I started. What do you think? I'd like to know. Should I start them all in 1 year? Should I not start anything after I start it? That's kind of confusing. Never mind. I haven't figured it out. But I'm going to have some new projects, and then once I get them all started, all the ones that I want to start, I really want to finish things before I start another thing. This is The Haunted Mansion by The Tiny Modernist. And since you've seen it last, I completed room 1, and then I went down and did the 3 walls and the steps. I think I have another step to complete. And then I have trees on both sides. This is the first part of the 7-part series, but I decided to take a break from that and do, well, they don't show you very large, but and the second one's the witch. But that's what progress I made on that one. So now that I confused you and me on my new starts, I have some of my haul is like some fabrics that I'll probably use in kitting up, and there's some patterns that I want to kit up that I purchased. The last one that I have to show you as far as my whips is Templar Prophecy. That's the, and I finished page 6. And that was this corner down here, 2nd row, and I finished page 6. So next rotation will be in November, and I will probably stay in line and just go to page 7. Oh, I blow up the pattern. I mean, this is the size of the pattern. You know, it's 1 page like this. But I blow it up. I'm not going to show you the pattern, but I blow it up to this size. And as I stitch the rows, I mark it off with a yellow pencil. And so that's the way I keep track of it, because I don't want to go off track. And then, oh, I know why I forgot to show you this finish. It's a finish that I had this month, but I gifted the pattern away already to my friend Alva. And it's Wintertime by New York Dreamer. And I finished it into a pillow with some batik fabric and some cording that I whip stitched around. Like that one. Okay, that's everything that I stitched, and now I'm on to haul. I did get a lot of threads from 123 Stitch, but I already put them away. But I will show you the fabrics that I purchased and the patterns. This is Needleworkers has a website that they do flash sales of different things, patterns, some fabrics that they dye, and they might have 1 or 2 of a certain size, and they'll say, you know, once they have that, that's it. You can always order them, but these are the ones that they have ready for you to purchase. So I had seen some colors that I really liked and I wanted to try, so I asked them to dye it for me in my 28 count Lugana, and they did. And this first one is called Golden Tan. It's showing up gray, but it's really a very pretty light tan. I'll put them next to the next one. This one's Heritage. This one's Heritage. Let me close one light here. Okay, maybe you can see a little bit better. This is Golden Tan. This is Heritage. This is Cream. Then I bought, these are, they're not fat quarters, they're just smaller pieces that they have in the store. This is a piece of Hardanger 22, and it's ivory. And the reason I bought it is I want to see if I can stitch over 22 count 1/1 maybe. And this one is 20 count ivory, Lugana. It's ivory. It's hard to see in these plastic packages. Then I bought a 16 count Ada. They didn't have 14 in black. I'm waiting for some patterns to come in from The Real Housewife. I have them on order from Needleworkers, and I want to do the Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus and try that on black Ada. I gave up on black before, but I'm going to try it again. This one seems a little different than the last fabric that I bought. This was another one I asked them to dye for me. It's 28 count Lugana. It's called Days Gone By. And I thought that was very pretty. Okay, I bought this pattern because I saw these ornaments on the tree at Needleworkers. They have their Christmas tree up, and they were little ornaments and they were really adorable, and I thought I'd give them a try. And let's see, it's down this side, how to do them as a small, and they really looked adorable on the tree, so I thought I would do that on like the 20 or 22 count, see if I could do it 1/1. I purchased, this one was from 123 Stitch. I did the Bluebird, so I'm going to try the Redbird. Now, they didn't have the Gloriana, a silk thread in a red that I liked, but I found a Water Lilies red one, and it's called Cardinal. So I thought I would, maybe against here you can see the color of it. It's a silk, and I thought I would give that a try for this, for the Redbird. Then I purchased A Perfect World. I've always liked this, the Scarlet House. And it says, in a perfect world, you would find me here with the birds and the flowers and the dog and the deer. And I would do the whole thing, all this full coverage section, I would do that. This is one of the ones I want to start as well. Then when I went to Needleworkers, when I walked in, Kevin, one of the owners, came over to me and handed me these two patterns, and it was two patterns that I ordered through him, and I was so excited when he gave them to me that they came in already. I thought I had to wait, a lot more weeks, because he had looked up a previous order and told me how long it took him, so we had to double that. But I was there like 2 weeks ago, and they're in. So like, ah! The first one is the New England Sampler by the Sampler Company, and that's by Brenda Keys. And this is one of those pictures that it's beautiful as when you see it like this, but the colors are so vivid when you see it done. So this is another one that I want to start, and it's all DMC. And then the other one that I ordered from him was the Red House sampler. Let's see if I can get some of the glare off. Yeah, you know, my tastes have been changing since stitching, watching other YouTube videos, and I remember years and years ago seeing samplers, not knowing what they were, and I'd see what I call pieces with alphabets on them, and I'm saying, there's so many pieces with alphabets, I don't know which one I want to choose, and I didn't understand what they meant, or so I never picked one out because I couldn't decide on the alphabet. But so anyway, now my taste, in the beginning when I started stitching, I was doing a lot of small projects for decorating and things, but now I'm starting to like these larger projects. But the thing is, I'm going to run out of space. The next one, which he ordered other patterns from the sampler company, and I picked up. This is a Scottish house sampler, and I had in my head said to myself, I want to do a Scottish sampler, and I thought of this months ago. And not that I have any Scottish that I know of in my blood, but it's more of a reminder to me of the movie Outlander. I thought, you know, go past the fighting, go past the sex if you don't like seeing it. It's a beautiful love story between the two main characters, and I don't know, I just want to do a Scottish sampler. So when I saw this, it's monochromatic, and it calls for DMC 823, called Dark Navy. I don't know if I'll do that exact color. I'll look at it. Put it on the fabric and see. But that's my reasoning behind that, and to me that means something. Okay, walking around the store, I decided to look at the primitive hair, and this one is more of my heritage. La Befana, which was an old woman that used to go around on January 6th and fill the children's stockings in Italy. So I thought that was, you know, a nice remembrance of our heritage, basically. Or what? Anyway, and the date, very small here, is the date, January 6th. And that's my mother-in-law's birthday as well. So, and I just saw this, and it was something I had to have, and eventually we'll stitch it. And then the last pattern that I say, where is Lori going with this? I think I could do it. It's a Hands Across the Sea, Mary Clayton, an English Girl sampler, and Brenda and Laura showed this on their video, and what they explained was she wrote her name across here, and then at the end where it's 9 years, meaning her age, she had to make it smaller so that it would fit in. So I will do this and stitch it as is, and this is my first Hands Across the Sea piece, and I'm excited to start that. And the last thing that I purchased, but haven't had the opportunity to go through, is the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher fall issue, and Priscilla's and pieces in the back. Pretty patterns. And that's it. That's all I have to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed your time with me. I'll be back the end of the month, show you my progress, show you what I've been working on, and then in November we'll do that New Year, New Starts, that might start in December, video where I'll show you everything that I've kitted up, want to start, and maybe we can hashtag some of them if there's any that I'm stitching on that you'd like to stitch as well. I won't be making too much progress because I'll only stitch on it. Well, by that time I'll have so many whips. Who knows when I'll get to it in the rotation, but there's some that, you know, that I'm carrying over that I have to get done as well. So that's why I don't start sals so much. If there's something that people are working on, and if I'm working on it, I'll tag a picture in there, but I don't usually do a sal because I don't keep up with it like everybody else would, maybe, of working on it start to finish. But I hope you enjoyed your time with me. I know I've enjoyed mine with you. So until next time, stay safe, happy stitching. See you guys on the next one. Bye.